Hello. Hello, friends, saints and friends. How y'all doing this evening? Let me do this right. Let me do this right. Let me do it 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 right. Let me do this right. All right. Let's see. There it is. All right, y'all ready? Let's go. It's true. It's true. You all are on my mind. You're on my mind. You know. You're on my mind. You are. You're on my mind, and you're on my mind often. I think about my YouTube family. Good evening. Good evening. God's desire for me. How are you this evening? I hope you are doing well. Hope you're doing well. Um, what was I saying? God dog it. I forgot what I was saying just that quick. Because I'm always excited. I'm always excited to see you, God. This is God's desire for me. I'm always excited to see you. You, if nobody else, is here for me. Uh-huh. You are my number one supporter. And my reminder of God's desire for me. Let me see. Okay, so welcome, welcome back, welcome to my channel, and welcome to my ladder life. So, why are you seeing me, Miss Christine, in front of your face? Well, there's many reasons, many reasons why. Um, and so last week I told you all how I am tweaking the format of this podcast, and so um I talked about connecting the dots. And so throughout the podcast, you're going to hear me referencing those dots. And you are going to, follow along with me as I journey through my ladder life. And I'm trying to do it. Let me back up. The Bible says that my latter life will be better than my former life. Uh, and so I am going to uh, walk in that promise. I believe that my latter life is going to be better than my former life. Now, before I would have told you that my latter life, my former life was good. And I guess for the most part, it was. It was good. I've had a good life. I've had a good life. But I've had good times. I've also had hills to climb. Now, I am a teacher by nature. And for a little while, I was a teacher professionally. I am artistic, not autistic. Quit playing with me. I'm artistic. That means I'm pretty talented with a pencil, a paintbrush. Artistic. Okay? And um So I'm an artist by nature because I am an artist, because I'm artistic and a teacher by nature. It just led me, those two things led me to a career in teaching. And so I learned how to teach. And I also um, learned some different processes in the art realm. Can't teach what I don't know. So as an art teacher, as an art student, you take all of the courses, crafting, ink, printing, ink, lettering, um, ceramics, the wheel, um, all that, throwing clay, painting with all of the mediums, oil painting, watercolor, acrylics, pastels. We learn the principles and the elements of art. That is what an art teacher teaches. We teach the principles and the elements. And so if I am teaching a lesson, I'm only going to teach the principles and the elements. Now, there's many, many different ways to get that, to do it. And there's many mediums to use to do it. And so, um, I am, I'm an artist. I am a teacher. I'm old. I've been here a minute and I've learned a thing or two or three. And because I've learned a thing or two or three, and because I listened to the lead attorney who says to me, because I'm listening to, I don't care about everybody else. He's talking to me as far as I'm concerned. Whenever I tune in to anybody, they're talking to me. Okay. And so the lead attorney says that if you're over the age of 35, you have experience. 35, 45, you have experience. You have life experiences. You learn some things that you could share with a younger generation. And you know what? I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I've learned some things, and I continue to learn. And as I am learning, I am going to share. What he says was, if you're over the age of 35, 45, you've got information, life experiences, things to share, knowledge to share, nuggets, and that you ought to have a YouTube channel. And then he went on to show me how much money he makes as a YouTuber. But now he's got a niche. He's got a niche. He's talking to um, people. He's talking to people about marriage. He's talking to people about marriage, divorce. He was a 20-year divorce attorney in the city of Atlanta, state of Georgia. 20-year divorce attorney. So he knows some things. He's learned some things. He's heard some things. And so um, I have two children. I have two adult children. I have a son and a daughter. And I listen to the lead attorney because I need to know he's gonna give me information from a legal point of view, from an attorney's point of view, from a perspective that I have no no knowledge of, and so I'll rely on the experts. Okay, he's seen some things, he knows some things, and I can learn some things from him. And if I need to, I can share those things with my my children. And I promise you, I I give them the way that I speak with them, I share with them, I impart to them is very different, even on the same subject. What I say to her on the subject of marriage is very different from what I say to him on the subject of marriage. As a matter of fact, I don't encourage him to get married at all. And her, because she wants to start a family, is the reason I encourage marriage to her. But I don't encourage him. I don't encourage marriage to him. I have my own opinion, and my opinion is biased. It's based on a very bad marriage. Okay, I entered into a marriage that I should not have entered into, and I knew it before I did it. But again, okay, so I am sitting in front of you because of the you, well, not because of the lead attorney, but he definitely had some he watered the the seed that was already planted in me, because I told you all about the the time that I heard the the voice of the Lord telling me what it was that I was supposed to be doing. Okay, so here I am, hey, um, on the big screen, and I am doing this podcast now. I told you all that I was going to be connecting dots. I like to connect dots, to watch the image emerge. Now, here's some dots I'm about to connect. We got the lead attorney, whose channel I watched, I subscribed to, and I watched. Uh, we got the 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 Lord telling me, physician, heal thyself. That is what I heard. Um, we've got um, this podcast. Now, how is it? How is it that I am doing a podcast? Why am I doing a podcast? Well, here we go. Here's a dot for you. While I was a teacher, that's not where I ended my work career. I actually ended my work career in a library where I was the information specialist, and I, for the most part, planned programs for adults to bring them into the library. What I heard uh, when they were talking about my responsibilities in the job was brick and mortar. Those were the words that I heard that stuck with me. Brick and mortar. Get them to the building. Get them in the building, in the library. Bring them in. Create programs that will bring them into the building. Okay. All right. That's easy. That's real easy because I'm an art teacher. Art will bring them into the library. Okay. Yeah, but I can't keep it at just that. I can do that. I can plan a program and I can host it and I can teach it and I can all that. And I did that. I did that. But, you know, I needed to I needed to provide a plethora of topics, events, things to do. And so, okay, um, there was a conference going on for library staff, and it used to be that in that system, in the system where I worked, only the librarians went to the conferences. That was the word on the street. Only the librarians went to the conferences. But there was I got an email about the conference and some workshops that were happening, and I was interested in those topics. One was how to engage adults, adult programming, how to engage um, adults. That wasn't the name of the workshop, but that was pretty much what it was talking about. And the other one was how to create a podcast. Those two dots, hello. So the only way I can teach somebody how to create a podcast is to learn how to create a podcast. And then in my mind, create a podcast. I can't tell you to create a podcast if I haven't done it myself and I don't know how. Okay. So here I am. All right. Um so there's a dot for you. And I did this years ago. Years ago. And then um the other workshop that I went to um was about uh Alzheimer's, dementia. And so I became interested in learning about dementia, and I connected with the Alzheimer's Association. So Alzheimer's was really and it was the Alzheimer's. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. Somehow the Alzheimer's Association. Yes, it was the Alzheimer's Association who was doing the workshop. They were hosting the workshop and they were showing us how to do a memory cafe. What's a memory cafe, you ask? A memory cafe is a fun and entertaining um, event where a person who has been given, who is in the early stages of Alzheimer's, early stages, that's the operative word there, early stages of Alzheimer's, um, how to create an event, a program that will um, tap into their long-term memory, because Alzheimer's affects the short-term memory first, and then it begins to just cause the body to deteriorate, um, just forget so many things. Anyway, Um, I became interested because the statistic that I learned about was that 1 in 3 people, 1 in 3, I'm going to say that again because that's important. 1 in 3 is going to deal with dementia on some kind of level, either themselves, someone in the family, someone they know. They will be the caretaker. Some kind of way. 1 in 3 is dealing with some kind of dementia. And a dementia can happen as a result of things other than Alzheimer's, eating habits. A stroke can cause a dementia. So, connecting a dot here. While my dad had a stroke, why is she talking about her dad? Go back and watch the other videos if you're new. If you are new, go back and watch the other videos. And then you'll know why I'm talking about my dad. I'm talking to the folks in the replay. Okay, so dad had a stroke and it affected, it rung his bell, but it cleared up. His mind cleared up. He's also 94. And so some memory loss. We expect there to be some memory loss. Hell, I'm 61. I can be upstairs and go downstairs, and before I reach the bottom step, I forgot what I was going down there for. Had to come back upstairs and retrace my steps. So memory loss is expected as we get older. But dementia is a whole other animal. That's a different kind of memory loss. And there are signs. There's signs. And I'll share with you all those signs. It probably in another video, not this one. Because I didn't even plan to talk about this particular thing. But since I'm here, I'll keep going. So there are head injury is another reason why a person may be suffering with a dementia. Anyway, the workshop at the conference was about showing us program planners how we can engage even someone with Alzheimer's or some other dementia. And then that statistic 1 in 3 went down. Damn. Who we talking about? We talking about our co-workers, the people we work with. If 1 in 3, I'm in a room of 50 plus people. Hello, it's a whole lot of us in here dealing with the subject of dementia. And I would be number one. Why? Because word on the street. Now, I don't know this to be true. I can't trust the source completely. But according to my brother's wife, he my brother had, according to her, he had Alzheimer's. According to my sister, he exhibited some signs when we all met in San Antonio, Texas to bury my mother. She says he exhibited some signs. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that to be true. I didn't see it, but then maybe I would not have recognized it if I did see it. Um, so I, and so as I am learning about dementia, Alzheimer's, I'm thinking about, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much because now I got to plan programs that are going to bring them into the library. So I began to, do some research on the subject of Alzheimer's and other dementias. I began to read books and listen to, just immerse myself in it. The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. I recommend that, it's an audiobook. I listen to it as an audiobook, but you can also read it. And I think that there's a movie, The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. And the Alzheimer's Project, also something good. And I would say that I would leave that in the description. But knowing me the way that I do, I am not likely to do that. So, hmm. So, okay. I am studying and learning and becoming familiar with Alzheimer's and other dementias. I am I'm interacting now with a much older um, population, a much older group of people, because I'm planning programs for adults. So I got to consider my senior adults. So what can I do to bring them into the library? What what can I do for people who are suffering with dementia, with Alzheimer's, the early stages of Alzheimer's, and their caregivers? Oh my gosh, my heart went out to the caregivers because I learned that people people have had to quit their jobs to stay home and take care of an aging parent who was suffering with Alzheimer's. I mentioned I mentioned divas and dementia in um, another stream. So this young lady is can't well Her mother has dementia, and she walks. She's a walker. She is, and so because she is a walker, they had to put things in her. They put trackers in her shoes, but she don't always have on her shoes. If she sees some shoes, she may put them on her feet, and they don't necessarily have to belong to her. But the trackers that they put in her shoes, she could feel them, and she would dig them out. She'd dig them out. Um, if you watch if you watch the videos, you'll see that, you know, it's not easy. It is not easy. It's not easy. And so as a caretaker, I sympathize with you if you are a caretaker of someone who has dementia. I thank God that while my dad is you know, he's losing his words, and it takes a minute for him to get his thoughts. He does get them. They come. He is not suffering from any kind of dementia. He's still, and I pray, I thank God, I thank God, I thank God for that. I thank God for that. But I, I've learned something from watching Diva and dementia, and that is patience. We really do have to be patient with them, because it's really not, it's not their fault. Um, and yes, it can be frustrating to just try to get them to do what it is that we need for them to do. And I shouldn't say we. Anyway, I'm blurring these lines here because my dad doesn't have dementia. He's just old. Um, but he did suffer the effects of the stroke with the weak muscles here, weak in his legs. Um, and he's getting weaker. He's getting weaker. We've got a bicycle that I told him he needs to get on and use it. I've never seen him on it. He claims he gets on it. I don't think I believe him. So I gotta get him. I gotta maybe get him walking more, using his legs more. So, here I am going. I'm going off in another direction. So what I've done is I have started to build a a place where he can putt. He used to play golf. He's got all his clubs, and he's got 2 golf bags full of clubs. But his clubs are left-handed clubs, so not a whole lot of people can use those left-handed gloves. But anyway, I started I started drilling holes and putting red solo cups in those holes so that he can go out and hit the golf balls into the holes. So I've got three done, two done, two done already, and I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So yeah, to keep him busy. But what I did, and this is not what I'm talking about, but what I'm saying to you is what I did as an information specialist, learning about uh, dementia, Alzheimer's, and how to make a podcast. I uh-oh, why is that happening? I sworn this thing was plugged up. Okay, all right. Sorry, I was about to lose y'all. Okay, so what was I saying before I was so rudely interrupted? I'm connecting all of these thoughts together, y'all. Okay, I think that the reason that I went to that conference and learned about Alzheimer's and dealing with our senior population is because of what I was going to be facing in my latter life. Hell, I didn't know. I did not know that I was going to lose my sight, retire at 60, even though I wanted to. I said it out loud. Um, I did not know that it was all going to happen and that I would be available to be here with my dad to care for him in his latter life. He wanted to age in place. I get that. I want to age in place at my own place. But that stroke did not allow for that. And so I I was prepared for this. I was prepared for this. If you understand what I'm saying. I won't prepare for this. But I was prepared for this. My all of those dots, all of those dots prepared me for such a time as this. The podcast, the learning, the research, how to do an interview, how to do all this, all of it, but is for this time, this purpose, so that I can learn, continue to learn and grow, and share with who's ever listening what it is that I'm learning, what I'm going through. Learn learn what I'm learning, learn from my mistakes, my hiccups, my whatevers. Um and I'm learning as I go. And I'm learning as I grow. And all of that. So throughout the podcast, you're gonna hear me connecting dots. Now, I'm still introducing myself. If you go back and you look at the podcast, and I still don't know which episode this is. I swear I'm gonna sit down one day and I'm gonna make it happen. Um, I started this podcast with marriage in mind. Remember the lead attorney, divorce attorney, and then I was on the morning show with Miss T with the T, and just playing around with her, just being me on her channel, cutting up. So um, it happened that she came on to the show. we together, I with her decided that I was going to go live. I was going to start a streaming channel and that I was going to go live. And I said, well, shucks, how about you come up and be my very first guest on my podcast? And she did. And what did we talk about? Well, what else? Marriage. Marriage. Because that's what was on my mind. And also, another reason that marriage was on my mind was because I wanted to talk about my bad marriage. My bad marriage. I wanted to talk about uh, narcissism, and I wanted to sound the alarm, ring the warning bells for anybody who's listening. Oh my God. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. You do not want to get mixed up with someone who has a personality disorder. You don't want to do it. You're not, if you're not licensed to deal with that kind of stuff, if you don't know how, I recommend that you avoid the personality disorder. Avoid it at all costs. Well, Miss Christine, how do I do that? Recognize the signs. Recognize the signs. And take your time and vet the person that you are getting to know. Okay? Do not rush or be rushed into a serious situation where you find yourself, you are now sleeping with the enemy. Anyway, so, okay. Now, look, now, look. I got my notebook here, and I write things down, and I take notes, and I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna do my podcast on, and I wrote some things. Okay, I can do a podcast on till death do us part. How to annoy your spouse. Walk down the aisle and embrace a life ooh, with unwanted. Walk down the aisle and embrace a life with unwanted. Oh, oh, I can't understand my own handwriting. Walk down the aisle and embrace a lifetime of unwanted advice. That's what I couldn't understand. A lifetime of unwanted advice. I need to work on my handwriting skills. I can draw a tree, but I can't write worth a ding dong. Anyway, walk down the aisle and embrace a lifetime of unwanted advice. How to annoy your spouse till death do us part. Till death do us part. Okay. Those are just a few of the topics that I knew that I could do a whole podcast on. Okay. But as I'm going into my latter life, I'm realizing that, I've done some really foul things, stupid things. I made some really unwise decisions. Um, and so uh, I found a book in my library. I got a library. Successful Women Think Differently, and I started reading that after I did this podcast with Miss T. I started reading Successful Women Think Differently because I'm realizing that I don't want to move forward doing the same stupid stuff that I've done before, making bad decisions, and just I don't want that in my life. Being hooked up with someone with a personality disorder is exhausting. It is exhausting. Trying to maneuver, trying to use the right words, trying not to offend, trying not to piss somebody off, and just anyway. Anywho, so yeah. Fast forward to today. Fast forward to today. Well, fast forward to today. It's me and my dad. It's me and my dad. It's me and my dad. And my children. And the handyman. So that's my group. My close circle. And then there's my friends and um, family. But those people are on the except my close friend. The other people on the peripheral. But what's closest and most present are those that I just named. Now, last week or week before, did I show up last week? I don't even know. I don't remember. If I didn't, please. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If I didn't, I apologize again profusely. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna try real hard to do better. Um, but I mentioned last week that I had another segment that I was excited about, and that segment was Dear Living Out Loud. And I gave y'all an example of what it was that I was going to be doing. My email address, I've made my email address available, living out loud the podcast at gmail.com. And I invited the viewing audience to reach out if there was something that you wanted to discuss, that you wanted feedback on. Send me an email and I would give you my feedback, and I would poll the chat. And so I asked the chat to wait until the stream is over and then make a comment answering the question. And I've got a letter for you. And I'm gonna read it right now. Dear Living Out Loud. I have a longtime friend I'm in my email. I have a longtime friend who smokes that wacky weed. Well, way to get right into it, huh? I have a longtime friend who smokes that wacky weed. They've done it for years. For many reasons. One being not knowing the effects the added chemicals will cause. I don't like it. I'm afraid for them. Despite my warnings, they don't stop. I don't like talking to them when they're high, and they're always high. I've cut back on how often I answer the phone when they call, and I rarely call them back. I know I'm not handling the situation well, but I don't know what to do. I need another point of view, a good friend. Hmm. Ooh. So my first question was, why do you care? But then they answered that question. They're afraid. They are afraid of the effects, the long-term effects, or the chemical effects. I don't want to put words in their mouth. They are afraid of the effects. They don't like it. They don't like it. They are afraid of the effects that it's going to have on them, on their friend in the long term. They don't like talking to them when they're high. And now I want to know why. What is it? What what is it about them that you don't like when they are high? And they're always high. Hmm. So you've cut back on them because they're always high. That's that's a good one, huh? I don't know. But I want to know what it is that they do when they're high. Is it what happens? What happens when they're high? You didn't. I need to know more. I need to know more. It sounds like you're cutting them off. You want to cut them off. You don't answer. You don't. You cut back on how often you answer the phone when they call, and you rarely call them back. I want to know why. I want to know why. I want to know what this person does when they are under the influence that is causing you to cut them off. I need. I don't know. I don't know. What about y'all, chat? What about y'all? What do y'all think? Should this person should this person sever their relationship with this person who smokes the the wacky weed. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? I think that I think that they're being too judgmental. I think that they're being judgmental. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Let me show you what I got. Let me show you what I got. Do I have it? Do I have it? I don't think I do. I don't have it. Okay. So I don't have it. I have a painting, and it is from the scripture, "Judge not, lest ye be judged." And I'm paraphrasing. Be careful how you judge other people. Cat dog it. Be careful how you judge other people. You know, strongholds, strongholds are buried deep inside. And we can't see the thing, the underlying thing that propels us. We cannot see the underlying thing that propels us, strongholds that holds us and gripped us and causes us to move in certain ways. We we as individuals cannot see what is going on internally with somebody else. We can see the effects of it, but we can't see the actual. We don't really know the thing, the underlying, that undercurrent that drives a person. Only God knows that. Only God knows that. Even Satan doesn't know unless we speak it out loud. Only God knows what's really going on inside of us. Um, the master creator, he knows. He knows what's going on internally. So the stronghold, the thing that propels your friend to smoke the wacky weed, we don't know what it is, but what if the thing that propels them is also the thing that propels you, shows up in you differently? Perhaps you don't know how to manage money. Perhaps you go off the deep end. You snapping on folk. Perhaps, you're a little promiscuous. Perhaps you take things that don't belong to you. Perhaps you tell stories that are just not true. You make up stories. Perhaps you like to fight. Whatever. But could it be? Is it possible that whatever propels you to behave the way that you do is also the same thing that propels them to smoke that wacky weed? Careful. Careful how you judge. Careful how you judge. That's how I'm going to leave that. Be careful how you judge. Judge not, lest ye be judged. What does that mean? That means that, somebody may turn that mirror around to you, tell you to look at it, and talk about why it is that you do the things that you do. And maybe, they'll cut you off because they don't like how you do what you do. Maybe you won't care because maybe that's your stronghold. Maybe you got some issues inside of you that won't allow you to show, have a little grace, show a little mercy. I, 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 I'm kind of having. I got a problem with the fact that you cutting your friend off because they smoke a little weed. I don't get that. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it, and I need a little more because if this person is crazy now after if they start doing stuff, if they're toxic, then absolutely cut them off. Absolutely cut them off. If they're bringing toxicity to you, for sure, cut them off. But if not, what's the problem? What's the problem? For real, what's the problem? Anyway, what time it is? Oh, it's been an hour. It's been an hour. Okay, cool. So, yeah. Dad is good. I'm good. I have been able to go out into my yard and start working in my garden. I went to Home Depot and they had soil. They had garden soil for what? Four for 10. 4 for 10. 4 bags. I don't remember the size. 4 bags for $10, but it was in my mind a good. It was good for the time. Really, what I want is a truckload of compost soil. Maybe I could talk the handyman into getting that for me tomorrow. But I've had an opportunity to go out and work in my yard, drill those holes, pick up fences and pick up trash and just clean up the yard. Now, I'm going to tell you this, even though I'm working on a video to show you the pods, Dad's house that I packed up, all that stuff, the stuff that didn't make it to the dumpster, ended up in the pods. And remember those, it was 2. We had to get 2 pods. And all of that stuff ended up here. Some of it is in the backyard on tables under tarp. I'm having a yard sale. And then a lot of it is here in the house. It's crammed into the house. I have had to work it out, but it's not. It ain't sitting well with me. It ain't working out well for me. I don't like clutter. I don't like clutter, and I'm surrounded by clutter. And so in that regard, I'm not good. I'm good. I'm good physically. I'm good physically, emotionally. I'm good financially. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. And but emotionally, emotionally, I gotta get rid of this clutter. I can't. I don't function well in clutter. I run upstairs. I run upstairs where it is a small space. It is a small space, but it probably could look cluttered to someone else, but for me, it is not. It's not cluttered at all. There's a, what I have up here is what I need. I could probably minimize a little bit more, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I don't. I don't see that happening no time soon. Not up here. Downstairs, that's a whole other animal. I still have bags, bags of stuff that I need to go through. Bags here and once I take them out the bag, I don't know where this stuff is. Where it's going. I'm just running out of room. I'm running out of room. I've run out of room. So guess what? The handyman said a few weeks ago. He said, "You need a bigger house." I think I showed y'all this last week. He said, "You need a bigger house," and I was like, "Mm, you right. I do." But I can't get that house. I can't get that house until I can't get that house until this house is squared away. This is the model house. What is she talking about? What is she talking about? I got a plan. I have a plan. I got a 10-year plan. I'm in year 3 of the 10-year plan. I'm in the model house. That house I just showed you is the goal. The handyman said you need a bigger house. I'm connecting dots, y'all. And he's right. I do. I do. I need a bigger house. But I got to get this house straight first. This house is the model house. This house is the cottage garden house. Nope. It is the cottage garden veterans home. That's what it is now. It's the veterans home. It's perfect. It's in the primest location to be a veterans home. Especially for my veteran. My veteran likes to fish. He's close to water. And anything else that he wants to do, he's close to it. Yep. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. Uh, I am, I am getting the model house, this house, in order so that I can have some sort of peace of mind when I go downstairs, and I can uh, start preparing for the bigger house. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm just moving forward one day at a time. I'm just waiting to see how it is God is going to move. I know that when God is in it, it's it's going to be good. It'll be good. It'll be real good. Um, I know that He gives me the desires of my heart. If this desire, if the goal is what He has given me, then it will come to pass. It'll come to pass. I know it will. And so uh, I'm gonna leave y'all on that positive note right there. Mm-hmm. And that note that positive note that I'm about to leave y'all on is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future. That is God's desire for me. And so on that note, I am going to call it quits. All right. All right. So, bye for now. I'll see you all on the next podcast, the next episode, the next video. All right. Bye for now.